So let's talk about why I started Trauma Learns. I've always been a really inquisitive person. From the start of time, I've always been a really, really inquisitive person. I think every single one of us are inquisitive, honestly speaking. Like when you think about kids, they're often asking you a lot of questions. So I do think that every single one of us are inherently inquisitive, and I want to kind of ask questions about what it means to be human. And I think that growing up, it was almost seen as like a bad thing when it comes to being inquisitive. I don't blame my loved ones, in all honesty, because thinking back, I really did have a lot of questions. Like I know kids ask a lot of questions, but like I personally, I had a lot of questions. Like, and it wasn't even like surface level questions. Like I would ask them like really big, like why is this child? How did this child think about this sort of questions? And I can understand that when you're feeling overwhelmed, life is doing what life does, especially as an adult. And then having this kid ask you like 100 questions. I'm probably not even exaggerating, maybe not up to that, but possibly close to that. Questions a day, and it's not just like simple questions, it's like really big questions. Like it can be a lot. But all that to say that I've always been a really inquisitive person. And I think in some ways I may have got some inquisitiveness from my mom because my mom asks a lot of questions as well. And I would say when it comes to exploring that inquisitiveness was in high school. I often say one of my um theories, I have a lot of theories for my specific life. I know that's not how it works, but I create my own rules over here, okay? Is one of the theories that I have for my life is that I had everything there was to figure out about this thing called life in my junior year of high school. And my junior year of high school is when I started like really questioning things, and I've always questioned things, but I think over time I kind of shut down that part of myself that questioned, that asks questions. And I think my junior year of high school, I don't know what happened. I think it was like growing older, my brain developing more. I just started really reflecting on my life in so many different ways. I had so many profound epiphanies. I wasn't journaling at that time. I also didn't like record them on my phones. I didn't have any way to keep this information. And so I think there's a part of me that almost, in terms of starting this podcast, I almost wants to honor that version of myself that I feel like had so many wonderful epiphanies and realizations, but I don't know what I realized when I was a junior in high school. Even though I feel like I realized so many spectacular, like profound things. And I often have this joke within myself of whatever lessons I'm learning, yeah, like the 15, 16-year-old version of myself, 17-year-old version of myself, she had it locked down. She already knew. And now I'm just like relearning all the lessons that 16-year-old version of myself had figured out. So I think in some ways it's a way to almost like record the lessons that I've learned. As I mentioned, as a therapist, I get exposed to so many different lives, and there's so many lessons that I learn from my clients, from their vulnerability, their expression. And there's so many things that you learn just from like observing people, from listening to people. And I have really wonderful people in my life that I want to kind of get their take, get their perspective, for them to share some of the wisdoms that maybe we're able to talk about in our day to day interactions. But to kind of have that shared with the world, at least initially, before we start having more guests come in. So, what can you expect with the podcast? So, we're going to talk to people from a variety of different life experiences. We're going to ask them about their career, what they've learned in their career path. What are some things that they've done to kind of get to where they want to go to? Back to that question of if there's someone that you're envious of and or you admire, like to ask them like, what do you do, how do you do it? I mean, not in this case for my guests in terms of being envious of them, but I do think I have people around me with very in different career paths, and I want to kind of ask them about themselves. What are the lessons that they've learned? How has it helped them grow? What is feedback and or lessons that they're going to share with other people based on their life experience? And something useful that I would say I've learned is that it's okay not to know. It's okay not to have everything figured out. And there's beauty in the process.